Hello and welcome to another video from My Random Hobbies. Today's going to be a little bit different. I'm feeling a little bit reflective today. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I've got in here that I keep as sort of memories of things that I've done in the past and that, make me happy, make me smile, give me good memories. So let's get into it. So a bit of a different video today. I sort of sat down with the view to do maybe another trucking video or some of my hobby stuff, and I just wasn't feeling it. But then I sat in here, which is only a small shed inside a garage, which I've shelved out with stuff. But there's lots of memories in here for me, things that I have enjoyed, things that I cherish. And just make me think of things I've done in the past. So I thought I'd share a little bit of that with you, perhaps give you a flavour of the sorts of things I've done, where I've come from, and why they're important. So the first one I'm going to share with you is a picture actually. It's rather large, so I'm going to bring it up, and the reflection, unfortunately, of the glass, I'm going to try my best to angle it so that the reflection is minimized or whatever. But there's a picture. Now, this picture is a painting that I requested. My father, who sadly is no longer with us, painted each of our family members, I suppose, a painting of our choice or a painting for us when we moved into our respective houses when we bought our own house. And this one I asked for trees and water and a church in the background, that sort of thing, and you can see that he delivered, and I think it's a brilliant picture, and it sits in here by my chair. It's not hung up, but it's there as a constant sort of reminder of him, and I'm very grateful that he took the time to do this picture for me. So that's the first one. I'm just going to pop this back down here. It's rather large. It's sitting. I had to move a few bits and pieces to sort of get it out. So when I moved essentially into my own house, that became a gift for me from him and my mum, and but it was a starting point of my own journey, my own life, as it were, on my own, and started off teaching, and then decided from the teaching part to move to be an army officer. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to gain leadership and management training, and I thought, actually, that's going to be a great thing. I'll do that. I researched it. You can go and teach in the army, as in you can go into an education training service, which is one of the parts of the army, and then I'd come back out, going back into the teaching world, and I'd have this leadership management experience, and it would be good for getting deputy headships or headships. That was the plan. But you have to do a year at Sandhurst, and a year at Sandhurst is hard. So again, on my wall here, I've got all sorts of pictures. In fact, let's bring the camera up and show you. So I've got pictures. Love this one. Piddle all over. Just an old brewery pump. But I've got pictures of me, in basic training, if you like, at Sandhurst. A picture of me with some of the guys there. Picture of me or with me in a sort of Jaguar there. That is the James Bond car. That was used in one of the films. I forget which one now. It's the one with the Korean guy who has diamond encrusted in his face after something happened or other. I forget what it was called. I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments. But they're there to remind me of times as well, and I was able to have some great times with some great people. And you really do build up a sort of camaraderie with people when you're in situations like that. And part of being in the army, this was my leaving gift when I actually left the army. from the people at my education centre. As you can tell, I wasn't necessarily the fittest of soldiers, but I did enjoy a donut or two at my office desk. And there's various references within here about me being a bit neat and tidy and OCD and all that sort of thing, and the little 5p trophy there, which I played golf a couple of times with some of my colleagues, and the 5p trophy was basically the losers trophy, if you like. So that was, some memories there. And again, looking around, I've got pictures on the ceiling here. So I use magnets, obviously there's Spider-Man, of course. But you can see an image. It's difficult to get this right. I'm trying to show you this way, of my school that I taught at, and I'll sort of picture of them. And I've got up there, I've got an award from the Scout Association for my service there. I've got a York Brewery pub crawl thing. I've got my Knife Axe and Tomahawk Throwing Association certificate. All the things that, extra little bits. Down here, again, I've got a YTA. Oh, it's difficult to get. I'm trying to figure out the camera angle. Where's the camera? So I've got here a YTA sort of plumbing course certificate. It's not official. It doesn't give me any qualifications. But again, it's something I experienced, and I encourage everyone to do this. It was a week's worth of plumbing, a plumbing course that I did for a whole week, and I went with another guy from school. We had a blast. We actually learned how to plumb in a bathroom, how to plumb a kitchen, pressure test it all, etc., etc. It was great fun, and a really sort of useful skill to sort of have in an experience as well. Then looking around again, I've got other memories. I've got a Lightweight Walk certificate and badge. The Lightweight Walk we did as a charity function for school, and again with work colleagues, and we had an amazing day. Started, I think, about 3 a.m, maybe something like that, finishing about 8 o'clock at night, maybe something like that. But it was like 40 odd miles of walking in a day. It was a long day, but it was great fun. Then, little things like this, knitted llama, maybe, made by one of my previous bosses, my previous head. So again, just little things reminding me of people. I've got coasters with my family pictures on there. So I've got my girls and my wife on. Just lots and lots of things as I'm looking around, and then you start going into the whole toys that remind you of your childhood. The X-Wing, which is very cool in itself. And you forget how cool these toys were, but you abuse them as children. But then, later on in your adult life, you want to perhaps relive your youth, so you go find them again, and you try and get ones that are half decent. I've got Hot Wheels. I've got a Lada badge. And the reason I got this was because my first car was a Lada. Clearly not going to buy the car. It was a rust bucket by the time I got rid of it, but it was an amazing car, built like a tank, really rock solid, and just something that I really enjoyed owning and having, and getting the experience of driving and having my own car and my own freedom. So again, some really nice memories, and there's little things that I come across every now and again. I forget I've got. So a Jim Bowen book. Now it doesn't sound like much, but what a great series that was to watch on. I think it was a Sunday night or something. The darts with Jim and Bully, and I actually went into a bookshop. I forget the name of the bookshop. It was one that went bust, and you could go in and have a Starbucks Frappuccino or whatever it was. And he was there signing when I popped in. So I took the opportunity to buy one and go and meet the guy. So again, just a bit of fun, but a memory nonetheless. And again, a lot of film memorabilia around, including like a Rambo knife that I've got here. And again, I'm not advocating owning large knives. This is in a locked shed within a locked garage. It's secure. It's not going anywhere. So it's safe. Plus, I've got some bigger tools out there which will probably do more damage. Yeah, so holding on to memories is important. A lot of people like to take photos, and that's great. I've taken some photos. I've got the memories of those. Some people like to collect stuff. Some people like to make stuff. Even going back and finding little things. By the way, do you like my tartany trousers there? Little things like the Pocketeer games, and these were amazing. Nowadays it's all about phones and technology. You would sit in the back of a car or at home with these little puzzle games and occupy yourself. It wouldn't happen nowadays, not in the same way. Things have moved on, and rightly so. But it is sometimes a shame. Corks. If you've never played it, it's a daft game. You've got 2 corks, and that's exactly what they are. Inside, red ends, black ends. You kind of drop them on the table, and you've got to try and stand them up. And there's different points for which way they land. But again, it's not the fun game. It's the sort of memories again from drinking out with your friends at a younger age. And again, a gentleman called Tom actually introduced me to these. So if Tom ever watches this, he'll hopefully remember this. But yeah, tons and tons of memories. I've even got here signed Middlesbrough Football Club Match Attacks cards, and every player has signed their card. And the reason I was able to get this, and that's the manager, was that at the time I was lucky and fortunate enough that one of the children I taught, his dad was the manager, and so he took the pack very kindly to the club and got them to sign, and that was the year they went back to the Premiership, which was a good year. So yeah, there we go. And even little things like this. I've got a potato. Some of you will know what this is, and some of you will have no clue. But a gentleman called Matt Lucas created a song, the Baked Potato song, and when we had COVID, it was sort of released as a charity thing, and I bought one of these potatoes to help the NHS charity, if you like. So, and it sings. So maybe you can hear that. We'll let that sing away in the background, and I'll pop that back up there. But I sang that song, did a little video on the ukulele. So I've got a ukulele in here as well. There's all sorts crammed in here. I've got my axes for throwing, so throwing axes. I've got other books and magazines, management books, comics, teaching books. I've got so much. The Baked Potato still singing. So what I'm basically saying is that sometimes it's good to reflect. It's good to think back. I'll let the Baked Potato finish. And for some people that's really important. But it also just reminds you that there are good things in life. There have been good things in life. There will be good things in life. So when things are perhaps feeling a little bit strained, a little bit difficult, it is sometimes good to have things like this to help you see the sense in the world. And some people would say this is nonsense. Collecting things like this and having them and just storing them in a shed if you like. But you know, I've got this comfy chair. I can sit back, I can relax. I've actually even got a little let's take it off. I've got here on the wall a little screen, which is actually one of those car DVDs players. So I can watch some of the films that I've got in here that again are all filled with memories, you know, sitting watching them with people or just times in my life. So yeah, so memories are good. Be positive and stay strong, and enjoy what you do. There'll be a lot of people out there going, that's nonsense. I don't care. If that's what they want to think, then let them. For me, it's a place of solitude. It's something to do in my spare time. I don't actually spend a lot of money on all of this sort of stuff. It's little bits here and there over years, and you know, there's worse things to be spending your money on. So there we go. Trip down memory lane for me. Hope it was of some interest to you, and if not, skip on, watch another video. All right, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Take care for now. Bye-bye.